allow the children to have the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My people make we shout, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, yo. This one not the off in mind, My ego don't come, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, My ego don't come, Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My people make we shout, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, yo. This one not they off in mind, My ego don't come, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, yo. My yegun don't come, yo. My people make you shout, yo. My yegun don't come, yo. Man of the masses,
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube, Mayegun Diary,
Thank you so much for joining me. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share the broadcast. Pay your offering by liking the broadcast before you continue. Thank you. APC, Egbekegbe, using what is called reverse psychology. I am going to explain that to a lot of those who probably don't know how that works tonight. What today? If you know fit take up, no watch am o.
Lórí Facebook.
Tinubu said forgery seems to be taking shines away from the real thing that are really affecting you. So share the broadcast. Somebody asked me, are Nigerians too poor or too scared to fight? I said I will ask them. Share this. A lot of people I have spoken to as well, they sincerely and honestly confess to me, Mayegun, Nigeria has no future. We are living at the next available chance. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning to you once again, and good afternoon to you. Good evening to you as well, from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun, and it is also live. I bet it's actually weekend for majority of us joining the broadcast at this time, especially live. Now, if you have been following the development in Nigeria, especially in the last 6 months, where I'm about to take you next will not be strange to you. But even if you have not really been so conversant with it, of course, I have a way of reconnecting everyone back to then and now and then the future. A lot of people are living what you can call a pretentious, fake life. I am talking about those who choose to stand the truth on its head, even when they themselves are hurting. I know that Tinubu's Forgery is taking most of the media space as we speak. But there are other injurious destruction that these guys are already doing. The impact of them are not even being discussed, talk less of them being taken up on this. On Mayegun's Diary Political, the temple of truth. The place where even if you are lying to yourself, if you are lying to the public, if you are making up appearances, when you watch Mayegun's Diary Political, and then you figure out that this is your life story being actually played out in front of you, when you are all by yourself, you are likely not going to lie to yourself, because the destruction that APC, Egbekegbe, represents is not limited to those who reject them and continue to reject them, right? Even those of you who were loyal, supportive, submissive, they are zombies in so many ways. You are not spared, and that is what affects you, not your different, what do you call it? Your different differences, rather, your differences, as you put it, your political differences, and whatever you think you believe in. Like some would say, everybody has a right to their own opinion, or the right to their own political opinion and all of that, which is true. But sometimes the people who hold this kind of views are at the same time not ready to be held responsible for the consequences of such views and actions. That is where we used to have problems. Let's say those of you who are watching me right now supported these criminals from 2015. And a lot of you probably feels like, you made mistake. And this mistake is now costing generations their own future. And these guys don't give a damn. Even though they still have a handful of sympathizers that do not probably know how much they are also destroying themselves by giving these people those tiny enablements. Now, if this is going to sound somehow like, what is he talking about? Let us start it from the real actors and the events. 5 or so months ago, Tinubu was sworn in as your president. And before then, Nigeria was already in a hole, a dark hole. 8 years prior, Nigeria, one of the promising, according to those predictions then, Nigeria, one of the promising growing economy that will be top 3 economies in the world by 2020. And those facts kind of spoke for themselves, because that was when Nigeria had about 13.5 million officially unemployed people and over 20 million underemployed. As if that is even worse. 8 years after that, Nigeria is now wallowing in the world poverty sort of index, the poverty capital of the world, with the country with the highest number of unemployed people and underemployed people. Now, they now summer them with what is inflation, economic suicide. 8 years, APC, Egbekegbe ruined. What could have been the step into the future became the step into the oblivion. And they stood their chance. I mean, so they stood their ground, never took responsibility. And indeed, they called everyone out. They kind of went after everyone that called them out. 8 years of total destructions of lives, properties, including generations. Nigeria jumped from the country that was producing 2 million barrels of crude oil every day to a country that was losing over 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day, and then producing less at the same time, plundering away whatever was coming from that, what was left over. Nigeria jumped from the indebtedness of 7.5 billion US dollars to over 150 billion US dollars today. Nigeria currency, through their own Buharinomics, they destroyed jobs, they destroyed businesses, they destroyed lives. They destroyed the Naira. Nigeria Naira lost its own value. Listen to this. Nigeria Naira lost over 550% of its value. Today, every Naira in your pocket is priced less. I mean, I'm talking about 3/4 less of its value. And the criminals who did all of that, they even created a confusion that plunged the country into what those who probably were watching the development in Nigeria, called economists and whatever they call themselves, right, can still probably are still yet to come back and tell us what exactly was the cost of the change of Naira. Not just the cost of printing the new Naira and the mix of the old Naira. I'm talking about the economic cost of what that confusion created. They haven't told you. People gone down the drain. Businesses died during that period. And the criminals who did all of that, they came back with what they call renewed hope 5 months ago. Subsidy was gone. Was a very fancy word that it was like a tsunami that was, they didn't want anyone. What was going to eat them? It eats everyone. Then they started, okay, how do we rescue them? With no plan of any rescue in mind, they opened another door of embezzlement. You witnessed all of that. In a space of 5 months, a country so indebted that all our revenue, 98 to 99% of our revenue goes into debt servicing, making nothing, right? Of course, the news of, the reality of having a drug baron or a drug dealer, a certificate forger, election rigger as your president is like salt on injury. Of course. But have you not noticed something? Which is where I want to get you to now. how APC, Egbekegbe, even though they continue to say that social media is their number one enemy, because it is on this same social media that even when the crowd continue to go one direction, which everybody will know the end result, there will always be some conscious people that will bring everybody back from that ride. In the last 2 weeks, even Tinubu and his gang, they have invested so much in the media to try and change the narrative of his certificate forgery. Something that is so huge and so beyond Nigeria that prompted the reactions of all of us, including non-Nigerians. But somehow, a lot of energy has been spent on this, just like a lot of energy was also spent on the 25% Abuja FCT votes. There were those who were so invested on this Abuja 25%, and then the issue of his drug forfeiting in America, as well as what else again was in the offing then. To the point that when it comes to the election, it was all about 25% in Abuja. Now, it seems that when it comes to the Supreme Court right now, it's going to be about a certificate forgery. That narrative that they have managed to help you drive long enough until it runs out of its mileage. But there are other damages going on. The real one that should, by no small means, make you concerned, give you so much concerns. APC, Egbekegbe, have no plan of taking you out of any economic doldrum. They are even willing and ready to dip you further in them. Now, let's talk about the economic reality of today for those who agree and those who disagree, possibly those who are still pretending. Usually when you tell Nigerians, or should I say when politicians want to deceive Nigerians, politicians that have failed to invest in real infrastructure that actually helps production. And when you have a lot of production, you have a lot of jobs, then you can begin to build standard on what should be the standard of those stuff, and then you begin to build the living standard out of that economy. In Nigeria today, or should we even go back to 8 years ago, it was so sweet on paper when APC, Egbekegbe, said they were going to give you, I don't know if you still remember, I will remind you, that they were going to give you 10,000 megawatts of electricity every year for 4 years. That would be 40,000. They will give you one refinery every year. And for 4 years, that would be 4 brand new refineries. And with the electricity, with the improvement in the electricity generation, factories, businesses, they will begin to save so much money from what they spend in alternative electricity or power. It was so sweet on paper. They said all they needed was to ensure that they blocked all the loopholes, corruption, and the corrupt people. In fact, they were going to recover all the stolen loot and reinvest them in programs like education, healthcare, and power. You see, the reason why terrorism will never end in Nigeria until everybody go their separate way, because that will be the only thing that will put an end to majority of this madness. But I'll get to that part. The reason why terrorism is never going to end in Nigeria, violence is never going to reduce in Nigeria, the reason why a lot of you are going to be more concerned and worried for the future of your own children, right, is because wherever you have corruption, and the criminals in power fail to invest in the real and true infrastructure, yeah, then what you have will be poverty. And when you have poverty, you're going to have a rise and increasing in crime. And you see, increasing in crime doesn't just mean that pickpockets or what have you. It's going to be all crimes. And from that, people are going to what? They are going to graduate to even greater and including terrorism. Today, it is so easy to recruit Nigerians for terrorism because it seems to be lucrative. They are seeing that their government, on the one hand, has no plan to actually end the terrorism, but to rehabilitate the terrorists, while the terrorism industry continues to grow. So, APC, Egbekegbe, having destroyed Nigeria economy, ruined jobs, businesses, and their lives. Those who are left are the survivors, which are now in that bracket of the poverty capital. I'm talking about 145 million very poor Nigerians living in multi-dimensional poverty. Now, APC that didn't invest in any of such, they came back now with what they call the renewed hope. And guess what? The one they make the minister of power just came to tell all of you that by 2027, Nigeria will have a stable power supply because APC would have added 20,000 megawatts of electricity. Meanwhile, ask them how. Then you begin to hear things that don't make any sense because they have no plan for it. Do you understand that? They will tell you ideas that practically they are there to try out the first 8 years. And here is another one, Abi. So they have no plan of such. So those of you who currently are in Nigeria and those of you who recently left Nigeria, I want to directly sort of speak to you. And this is it. In the last 5 months, okay, these guys have not only made the economy worse, they have made your lives hell. And here are the examples. From 167 naira per liter of fuel, they told you on the 29th of May that subsidy was gone. And right then, within hours, your liter of petrol jumped from 165, 167 to over 600 naira, 700 naira. And everything else followed suit. Then they said they were reinvesting the money in what they call the subsidy palliative. Another distraction to make it look like they actually had a plan. They had none. The same May 29th, when they handed over to Kolu, the dollar to naira was then at 720, 730 naira to a dollar. In a space of 5 months, that same naira to dollar has now jumped to over 1,000 naira to a dollar in 5 months. I'm coming on. Now, for those of you who have been kind of struggling through the cost of living during this period, and in fact, when majority of you began to feel like this is it, Nigeria is not for you, Abi, 5 solid months, and the effect of that is just the continuation of where Boko Haram stopped. And not just that. The issue of terrorism, banditry, they like to call them. I'm talking about those who kidnap Nigerians at will. They have done so well in the last 5 months that over 541 Nigerians have been confirmed, attacked, kidnapped, and currently in captivity across Nigeria in 5 months. So that is the same continuation of where Boko Haram stops. Right? Not just that. Currently, Tinubu and his gang, they know where this forgery and the rest of that will end. And since you can never shame the shameless, yeah, they will rather consolidate that power. They are directing the narrative to make it pretty much like now Supreme Court of Nigeria will decide whether the certificate given to Kalu is fake or not. And in Nigeria, as you are watching this video, majority of them are made to believe that the Chicago State University confirmed that they gave Tinubu that certificate. And if you are not satisfied, go to court. Now let's come back to the reality of those of you who are now caught in the web. I know you can lie to the rest of the world, but in reality, nobody really lied to themselves. Of course, people can lead double life, fake one. And Nigerians kind of, we have characters like that. I mean, we are still questioning the identity of the man parading himself as Nigeria president. So don't let that be something that is a shocker when people pretend. But guess what? Lately, I have been seeing people that, especially the last 8 years, these have been people who have publicly professed that no matter what happened, Nigeria is still their country. If everybody wants to leave, they can leave. And I'm beginning to see a lot of them who have now, they are selling their properties, selling whatever they can sell just to get out of Nigeria. And, you know, I was talking to a few of them recently when they pointedly actually told me, and they said, Baba, if there is anybody currently in Nigeria telling you that they have hope and believe in Nigeria, okay, they can either be those who are benefiting from government or those who are involved in crime. And he actually explained that to me. He said, because those who are legit, doing their legitimate businesses, who have become the victims of all of these bad policies, corrupt policies, they are, it's like drowning. But you are not seeing the, what do you call it? You are not seeing the water. Like you are not seeing yourself in the ocean. Give me a second. There's this you and this toy that is kind of making a lot of noise. Don't go anywhere.
We try our best. It's not easy. It's not easy. In a country where people don't want you to speak the truth, they'll give you 1 million reasons why you cannot speak the truth. Well, the person is your friend, the person is your father, the person is your old schoolmate, the person you are from the same town, you are the same mother, you are the same this, you are the same that. And yet you want Nigeria to become a great country. And I see people that you once respected, you know, getting involved in all this rubbish, blaming other people for the carelessness of others. You know, it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. But truth is, let them say their own, let us say our own. So let posterity judge all of us. You know. So you can see people, they are struggling to defend the indefensible, struggling on television, on social media. They will continue to struggle. Nobody is talking about whether a man went to school or not. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. All the things you
Bob D, we'll come back to you. Not yet. Sorry about that. Okay. So I was talking to those of you that would publicly, all right, defend APC. Egbekegbe. Meanwhile, as odds and a lot of people are living and looking for opportunity to leave Nigeria, you are also looking for one. And I don't know how some of you really feel that you are helping them to burn down Nigeria, make her worthless and useless, divided as it is, and then thinking you are also escaping to a safer place. I'll still come back to you. I want to address those of you who are in there. This person told me that majority of those who are doing legitimate things, who have been victims of this completely collapsed system. You know, the description was like, Nigeria right now is like a place without government, a disorganized place where people can actually do, where people are doing whatever they want. You see those who are in authority, because they are rogues, they too are doing whatever they want. It's like a banana republic right now. And rightly so. Let me give you this example. In Nigeria right now, if you, by any chance, lose your bank card, your ATM card, okay, somebody can take that and use that to take loan from loan apps. They have loan apps in Nigeria. So these loan apps would then begin to blackmail you, okay, that you used your, what do you call, you took a loan from us. And if you don't pay us back our money, we are going to publish you as either a kidnapper or somebody who is dead, like they will post it as your obituary, or they will kind of accuse you of something that will likely, that they will send it to all of your family, your contact. They said they'll send that to all your contacts. And I'm like, wait. So who do you then report to? Do you call your bank to fix that, or you call your, for the banks is another one. In Nigeria, it has gotten so worse that lately bank workers have been arrested for giving the banking details of their customers to fraudsters that wipe out their entire savings, and the bank can't do anything because the record shows that you withdrew all your money. Now, in all of that, the first question will be, who do you tell and who do you report to? Nobody. So a situation like that, which has now made it look like, make it more like the dog eat dog system. A lot of people, a lot of you Nigerians, are beginning to tell yourselves there is no future for you in this country. A lot of you, in fact, so many of you watching me right now. And you are right. There is no country ruled and governed the way these criminals are running Nigeria, that has any future. The other day, I saw a video, and it was the video of Baba Gio of Redeem. Now, Baba Gio of Redeem, which is the, what do you call it? The praying Christian wing of APC, Egbekegbe, by the way. Baba Gio did a video, and in that video, he was telling the Israelites, the Israelis, that RCCG worldwide stands with Israel. Sure you get. And a lot of people were reacting. About, have you ever kind of made video to tell people of Eastern Nigeria that are being killed and slaughtered by the Nigerian government, especially for the past 8 years? Have you kind of, you have members there. Many of your members have been killed by the Nigerian government. What about Northern Nigeria, where terrorists and all of that? What about the Middle Belt? You've never made any video like that to say, we stand with you here and there. And if there's anything that connects Christians to, so if there's anything that connects Nigeria to Israel in this whole mess, right, it's going to be religion, Christianity, Abi. If there's anything that connects Nigeria to Palestine today, it's going to be religion, Islam, Abi. But right in Nigeria, okay, what is happening in Israel, Palestine as we speak right now, the wars are happening in Nigeria. Do you want me to explain that, right? In the last few days that this war and this fight started between the Hamas and the Israelis, right? They said from both sides, they have killed over 3,000 or so people. Horrible, horrible, right? In Nigeria, right, that is not shooting and fighting war, okay? In a single month, they kill more than that 3,000 people. Nigeria is not shooting war like everybody, you know what I mean? Millions of Nigerians, over 10 million Nigerians, have been internally displaced inside Nigeria that is not fighting war. But the entire population of Israel today, it is only 1.8% of them that identify as Christians, okay? And to so many Nigerians, they still believe that the Israel that they read about in the Bible, the Israel of the old, is the Israel of today. So connected, somehow they are connected. Say, yeah, when you look at those Muslims too, they will tell you, right, how they are Islamically connected to the Palestine. Now, you see all this religion connection and what have you, right? The same energy, for some reason, is not channeled towards the homegrown terrorism that is being supervised by the APC. You know, I don't know if majority of you know that in Israel, out of their entire population, majority of them, they are Zionists. There is another religion called Zionist or something. Sure, you know. In fact, the Christians in Israel, they are facing the same persecution the Christians in northern Nigeria or Middle Belt part of Nigeria are facing. Do you know that? Apart from the historical, biblical, what do you call it, locations that is located in that area, do you know that Israel is not a Christian country? You know, there are more Christians in the part called the Palestine than the Christians you have in the entire Israel. But that is actually not, that's not my point. I'm just trying to let you understand that as your leaders in Nigeria, who are supposed to channel energy, the same passion, the same energy that they try to show to things that I would say probably not their problem or their concern. If you know the real story, from the Ottoman Empire to the British Empire to the creation of states that they are now called countries in this Middle East today, and then to back to your religious books, the Quran, the Bible. But if you read all of these stories, all of them together, and then you read about the 1949, you read about the Hamas of 1991, 1992, and then you come back again to your Bible and all of that, and then you realize it today that, oh my God, there's so much difference of what you have today. But what would make those who control your mind politically in Nigeria, what would make them special or sort of dreaded if they don't continue to attach these locations? You know what I mean? These locations to the religion back in Nigeria, events happening out there, using them in relative to what they are pushing in Nigeria. Because what they need to do is that you are still under their wing. And with the connection between the politicians, your preachers, and their policies, how they manage the whole thing, then you are like, where is that future? Anyway, let's leave let's leave Israel and Palestine for now. Yes, it is. It is a political war. It's not even religious. You understand? So their story is so deeper that if you are in any way a Christian or a Muslim, right, you would condemn the real killings going on there from how it started and how it is currently going. It is barbaric. It is awful. But let's leave that, because there is more awful things going on in Nigeria that the world doesn't, or probably Nigerians themselves, unless are bothered or concerned. In Nigeria of APC, the Nigeria military are pretty much like a wing of terrorists, also in Nigeria, whereby they are more involved, right, in the project of ethnic cleansing, okay, religious persecution, leading to further terrorism on their citizens. I said those who are jihadists are killing Nigerians and getting away with it, strolling straight into the into the town and take as many people as they can and then walk back into the forest. They still do that today. And then the main infrastructure of Nigeria, the government built infrastructures like pipeline, are left in the hands of former militants or militants, people with guns. So Nigeria is being sort of, run in a way that you can do whatever you want, just never get caught. It's style of ruling. So then people say they are living today. So many businesses themselves are already losing their best hands to this Western world today. No thanks to APC. Of course, what would you do? The country and the criminals in charge, they are breeding, and then they've institutionalized the corruption in a way that they are now breeding poverty, and they are making that poverty a sort of a state policy, something that is like you need to be poor if you want to be identified as a Nigerian. And now whatever will bring you to that stage, their policies will break you, no matter how long it takes. And like I said, if you are legit, doing your things legitimately, and you don't even kind of care about government and what they do, when they talk about APC, when they talk about these guys, to you, man, leave them alone. They are all the same. But when you leave the argument of they are all the same or they are not all the same, and it's about you now, and you look around you and you're like, man, if I have a chance, a lot of people say that to me, if I have a chance now, I'm going to leave this place. If I have this, I have to get out of this place. Why is everybody leaving? And they can't even wait for you to. You know that. When you say, oh, I can't wait to leave this country, you will see the APC, cretins. They will tell you, go, you owe me the first one. Get out, everybody. If you don't like this country, go away. So in another, well, you've had the first 8 years of it. So in another 4 or 5 years, every part of Nigeria's, what do you call it, government and governance institutions everywhere will be held and controlled by these criminals. Except you actually fight back. And how do you fight back? One of the questions I'm mostly asked is that, well, then what do you think we should do? Now, it is not about what you would do. It is what you are prepared to do. Okay? I mean, if you don't understand why you want to fight, how would you understand how to fight? A lot of you are at the verge of total breakdown as you are watching this video. You are, like I said, people put up appearances, pretend that everything is still fine. Say, how are you, Baba? Well, Baba, we are pushing it, we thank God. Really? Okay, that's good. How is Madam? She's fine too. How about the children? We are there, everybody is fine. So how is business? Baba, that one a long story, but we thank God. But majority of you are at the stage of busting out and saying the truth that you have held on for so long. You have been holding it, hoping that things will turn around. But rather than for them to turn around, their worst policies, their greedy criminal policies, which has always been the same thing as always, right? You are just the latest, you're going to be the latest victim that's going to kiss the dust. A lot of you struggling and all of that today. You're fighting a system that is intended to actually break you. Even when they say their intention is to make everything better for you. Who does that? That you want to make things better, but you're still doing the same thing that brought the problems. Sure, you get? Like, who actually does that? Fine. A lot of you are at the verge. A lot of you, one last prayer you're asking for is that after putting your everything into living Nigeria with your family, it's like the last gamble, and you are waiting to get out of that place. Abi? Now, if you don't have a chance of living, or you have left, and with all of this going on today, you have no chance or a plan of going back. Now, if you feel like this is scary, Mayegu, are you saying that if all of us run away, fine, we would never, ever wish to go back again? And is that it? Very well, that is it. No way. I mean, are you saying that the worst is yet to happen, as those who are probably those who could save Nigeria from this APC division or divisive existence, once they leave, their rogues and criminals who take control of all of the institutions and every arm of government, everything, that would now become the norm, that those who left will never wish to go back there. And since you have no plan of going back there, that means you have a plan of dying abroad. Now, if you reject that, that is a reason for you to get yourself ready to fight, a reason to fight, whether you are abroad or you are in Nigeria. Now, I'm coming back to those abroad. You are in Nigeria. What do you want us to do? You self, come back home and face, let us fight them together. I am not talking to those who are not ready. Okay? You see, we have humbled slaves. Do you even remember the meaning of the humbled slaves? Okay, I'll tell you. The humbled slaves are the Nigerians who have put up all the fights they could, and there is no fight in them anymore. They've accepted that this is who they will be, okay? Whatever those who control Nigeria or those who rule Nigeria says they are, is who they are. So they accept it. They agree. And they are wondering, why are you not agreeing? Do you know better than these leaders? A lot of you are fighting. You don't understand anything because we have already fought before. Look at us. Look at our faces. We thought we could fight them and change them, but eventually they broke us. We lost everything, including our self-esteem. What is wrong with all of you? Why don't you just obey them and let us have peace? Those are the ones that will tell you, if we did not offend them, they will not beat me like this. I must have done something wrong for them to cut off my finger. It's my fault. And that is why I have this black eye. You know, those who have already humbled themselves, they have no fight anymore. And they don't like you. And you actually want to fight. Sophisticated morons. Those are the ones whose inner self-esteem have been broken. Okay? But they are also educated. They love to sound sophisticated. When they speak grammars. They speak empty jargons. They lack substance. These are people who lack morals and everything. And we call them sophisticated morons. Obedient fools in the rank of this APC. Those are the ones that they have no idea and they have no intention of even seeking one. To them, right? If you therefore go against these criminals that they see as role models, okay? It is more like you are an enemy, okay? And what do? Once they are told that their critics are enemies, they believe and they go all out to do whatever these rogues push forward. You get all of that? The sophisticated morons are actually one of those wars. You know, those ones who speak with absolute, no substance. Well, my message again to you is that I don't know where you belong, okay? But if you are looking for a reason to get yourselves mentally ready and the reasons why, you will fight and fight a just fight, is if you have no choice of living. A lot of you would want to live, but majority of you would not. And when that Nigeria that you dread so much begin to take everything away from you, you will remember what Mayegun said. It doesn't matter where you belong, whether you are APC or you are not. It doesn't matter where you come from. Then you will remember Mayegun said, when you reach that stage, do not turn to a sophisticated moron and humbled slaves. Look around you. There will be many, many, many more victims. But with the confusion and propaganda out there, it may take a while for you to realize this. And like I said, if you lie to the rest of the world, you won't lie to yourself. When you are losing everything, when you begin to lose everything, if you have anything at all left, when you begin to lose them, you will remember Mayegun. It is not because you are not smart. It is not because you are not intelligent enough. It is not because you don't know God. At all. It has nothing to do with you being a sinner. The real enemy taking away everything from you is no other than APC. Egbekegbe. And with what they represent, they will take everything, including your life, if you let them. So nobody is going to come and fight for you. Do you know what happened to those who have escaped? A lot of us will have to get ourselves ready. Your comfort zones are not going to be comfortable for everybody anymore. You can take that to the bank. Especially those of you who live abroad and you are loving Nigeria from abroad. When they say they are doing Nigeria independence, now your own they too much. Now they go get Ashwebi for Nigeria independence with your children, taking family pictures to show the rest of the world that Nigerian family living in California, America, Nigerian family living in Qatar, beautiful Nigerian family living in Saudi Arabia, amazing young Nigerian family living in Canada. You are loving Nigeria from abroad. And to so many of you, no matter what goes on in Nigeria, you are safe where you are. No, you would no longer be safe. In the next 5-10 years, with these criminals, if they last that long, you will begin to also find a reason to either join those demanding for the central breakup of this criminal contraption, or you will be back there with your own, what do you call it? With your own AK-47 roaming the street, because it won't be comfortable for us abroad too when things goes on like this. And it won't be easy for you to decide that you want to go back as well, because it's going to be like from frying pan to fire. The consequences of your support and defense of criminals in Nigeria, helping them to share the propaganda that has kept people in perpetual poverty, generational poverty, will also eventually affect all of us too. I hope I will say that. I'll keep reminding you that. However, to those of you who have managed to leave, and somehow there is something I have to say to you. Okay? You haven't escaped anything. We have not escaped anything. And if you don't believe me, don't worry. You are welcome to the West, or you are welcome to wherever you have managed to get yourself and your family to right now. But why did you leave Nigeria? That's the first thing you have to tell yourself. A lot of you are doing fine in Nigeria. And when I say fine, I mean to Nigeria's standard, you were doing fine. But something became so scary for you that you knew you are going to lose everything, including that your beautiful family. And you started thinking about them. And in all your thoughts, you know there was no solution for them in Nigeria, because you have been there. You are there, Abi. You are also seeing what they are doing, Abi. And that's finally sent you out. You are welcome to the West. It is not a tea party, by the way. It is going to be an experience for you. But there's something I have to also remind you of. It is either you are going to live with that reality that Nigeria has no future. And if Nigeria should have any future, it can never continue the way it is currently constituted, Abi. I hope you will live with that for a very long time before you become very comfortable, like those before you. And then you begin to fight for Nigeria criminals. You begin to tell how you love Nigeria, how you love your country, having escaped from the shithole, Abi. But there's going to be a time when you are going to realize that you might have escaped, but as things continues, there is likely not ever going to be a Nigeria to return back to again. And what that would mean, I may not really be able to describe. But you're going to get to that stage too. And at that point, you probably will pick up your own side then. Or you should pick it right now. Because at that point, Nigeria will become so irredeemable. The currency will be like toilet paper. The entire economy will depend on handouts. Businesses will die. People will die. And it's just going to be like a wide west. Wide west. And that is never going to give you that comfort you think you are going to get. From first, leaving the shithole, then from second, piecing over them by pretending that Nigeria will be better from your own lenses, from wherever you are hiding or wherever you run to. Okay? Because for those of you who are, who are very prayerful, I have told you many times that do not let these criminals continue to take advantage of your faith. It's Nigerian criminals who are specialists in calling God. They can call God, and you think that's exactly how much they respect God or fear God. They don't. But they know it's an easy way to get into your head by making you believe whatever else or anything else they say. Right? Do not let them. Always. Right? Use that your faith. I've seen them done that many times. They will tell you to pray for Nigeria. A lot of us grew up praying for Nigeria. They even have something called the National Prayer for Nigeria. But can I give you an example? In this day and time, nobody sits and pray for a problem to go away anymore. They have to do something. Okay? So, for example, again, you've seen this Israel and the Hamas in Palestine, Abi, or in Gaza. These guys were flying parachutes like that. They call it a glazer. Two people will be inside a glazer that look like a machine, or with a parachute and a gun. They were flying into Israel on that day one of that Wahala. They were flying in. They had drones that are underwater drones. Okay? They have drones that they made themselves to attack Israel. They have drones that they put on, you've seen some of you should have seen some of those propaganda videos, Abi. They had machines, they have everything to attack a place, Abi, because they said during the Ottoman Empire, I'll tell you that story quickly because it's related to what I want to say next. during the Ottoman Empire, the ones that own the areas like that is now today's Turkey, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, and then the UN created what do you call it, area that is now called the Israel and Palestine, and then all of that. So since the time of that partitioning, Israel themselves, who are like the children of God, Abi, Israelites, you know what they did? They knew that they are in the midst of enemy. They are in the midst of those who believe that traditionally that land is their land. Sure you get. But British that colonized the area, okay, said for peace in 1945 and 1949, they now mapped out a place like that, okay, and they gave Israel part and they gave Palestine part. But the Israelites, they did not say because they are children of God, they will just call on God to kill their enemy or kill anybody that want to kill them. They know that they are in the midst of where they wanted them out. So what did they do? They spent all their lives building. Listen to this. Number one, they made everyone that is an Israeli, they made them understand what it means to be an Israelite, a Jew. They let them know their value. So when they now have a space called their own to build their own country, they build the best country in that axis. While the rest around them were all involved in this war, terrorist and all of that, Israel was building real democracy, good standard of living. You know what I mean? They were building things for their people, and they were building defenses to defend their people. They were not building churches or synagogues or mosques or shrines or anything. They were building weapons, and they were training every Israeli to know that for any day, any time, you could be called. So every Israeli that is above 14 or 15 years is already a reserved army. And you will be in reserve army of the Israel, of Israel for the rest of your life, or until when you can no longer, when you are too old. Now that is a country that said this is it. Now, if by any means their leaders begin to go astray within themselves, they will take care of all of that, their leaders, because going astray means you are putting their own lives in danger and the lives of generations to come. So they didn't just go and call on God. Both countries, the Hamas, the Israeli, IDF, today they are all displaying their own weapon. They are destroying everywhere they can both destroy, like as horrible as that is. So in Nigeria, when they now tell you to pray, you see why I don't buy that. I'm not saying you shouldn't. So when you know what you are losing or what you stand to lose, I think it's 1948. Thank you, Big Mommy. When it is time for us to know what we are, I mean, you should have something you are living for. And whatever it is that you are living for, you should have an idea of being ready to die for that too. And that is why the psychological readiness, the reason, a lot of people don't want to find that reason because you still want to enjoy life. Abi, me, I know that you still that life you want to enjoy, okay? You would have to go serious extra mile to even have a tiny taste of it if you are lucky. Because with these criminals in charge, with the institutions that should checkmate them are all in their pockets. I mean, there should be something that should sort of motivate you then, right? Where you can no longer leave Nigeria. When religion can no longer lie to you anymore. That is a psychological preparation. So that when the call comes, because there will be a time that is going to be a call, you will not have to be preached to. You will not have to be convinced. Do you want something better than what you are currently being offered? Do you know what these criminals are doing? Can you sit down and project what this means to your family? Can you sit down and process what this means for you? And what does it mean to you? What does that mean for you and your family? Does that mean further suffering? Loss of revenue, loss of life? Is that something you're just going to take in and accept because you are so powerless and you are poor, you can't fight and you can't do anything for the, you know what I mean? Of course, you must have that mental readiness. You know why they said people like Mayegu that I am dangerous. I am dangerous to those that have accepted the social conditioning, this conditioning. And like I said, the sophisticated morons who speak English, who speak grammars, but they are completely empty, suffering in the hands of career criminals. You know what I mean? So people like us are going to be like dangerous because people like me can turn a very weak-minded person, okay, into a fearless, brutal warrior if I continue to talk to you this way. Because you need to have a reason. Somebody said, if somebody attack my child, I'll kill them. That is a motive. I'm not asking you to kill anybody. I'm just giving you something that you say, that's a motive. The reason. Why would you want a better life for yourselves and your family? Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. So if you don't tell yourself that you do, and you continue to put yourself in a place to give reasons, excuses for why you can't have them, you will never have them. You see, when people want to be dangerous, you can be dangerously good. There is good danger. You know, when they say something for the common good, where you walk about as an embodiment of something, of a good force. You get that? So you need to be a dangerous person to those who have always benefited from keeping you down. I have said this many times, if you can think about it. Okay? The real devil that they ask you to be praying against, it's not that invincible devil that they have made you to create in your mind. The real devil is those who are making policies and decisions, corrupt criminals, who are making promises and policies that are adversely affecting you negatively, and you can tell it's from them. And you are seeing all of them smiling to the banks with and their families all over the place, flying the private jets whenever they want. And you are seeing them in this glowing and all of that pictures, videos, laughing and clicking bottle of, clicking a glass of wine and here and there. You should be dangerous to those people. Those are not good people. See, There is no free money anywhere. Nothing is free. And these guys, they are a bunch of criminals who don't take responsibilities. And because they don't take responsibilities, means they don't value anything. And in that case, somebody can just single-handedly steal the money that is meant for the community hospital. And they will say, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Somebody can single-handedly steal the money that is meant for the regional power project or major road project or anything. If it's connected or she's connected enough, nothing is going to happen. And then you're going to see them later doing some celebration like birthdays, burials, wedding ceremony for their children, and they will be flaunting their wealth. You should be dangerous to such people. You know why you are going to be dangerous to them? Because you should always be irritated around them. And we should have tens of thousands of you that should be feeling like that. You should never feel like you could have a bite, because it's going to be a poison chalice. Now, when you have that mindset of, I am losing something here, and there are many, many like myself who have actually lost out and they've done nothing wrong. They've just been regular Nigerians doing the normal thing, regular and the legit things, but they are all falling out one by one, while these criminals continue to grandstand everywhere. They destroyed, or should I say, they have further destroyed your education, by the way. There are many of you that will never go back to school. I don't know if you have a chance of watching me tonight. I don't know how that make you feel. I can tell you, if I was you, it will make me feel better. A country that has no plan for our own youth and young people. Such country has no future. A country that is grooming the people to be ass lickers and the nevuvuzelas for politicians. Such country has no future. Majority of all these guys who are doing PA to all these politicians, they are making the money they are getting from the crumbs they are getting from their own paymasters. They are sending their family, their children outside Nigeria. A lot of you are seeing them every day. Every one of them is looking for a chance to get his own bite and just bail out of Nigeria, because they know there's nothing for that future of Nigeria. You know? So you should be dangerous to those people. They should see you as somebody who has something to lose. And when you see people of like minds, because there's going to be that time that calling is going to come, it's also ideal for you not to play into the hands of those who are also part of them. But for now, they are waiting to see if they're going to get their own share or cut. And if they don't, they will become very vocal. I'm going to quote some of them and I'm going to tell you, don't believe him. Because that is what Nigeria has become now. The future is so bleak right now that those who feels it so deeper in them are leaving. And those who are in there, majority are feeling trapped already. So if you are looking for something to motivate you or get you ready psychologically, think about what you have lost. Think about what you are still going to lose. The devil they're asking you to pray against is no other than these criminals. And if anybody is asking you to wait on the Lord and wait on the Lord, they're just asking you to wait to die. So one of them is going to trigger the calling. But if you are not mentally prepared, you are going to join the rest and be asking, is it about Yoruba? Is it about Igbo? Is it about Hausa? Because you are not mentally ready. In what a lot of people have come to also realize is that those who are living in diaspora, that we actually have a very big role to play. There's some psychological evaluation and then preparedness that you also need to. And so many of us that have no idea of what to do. Mayegun, what do you think we should do? A lot of us want to throw money at it. Mayegun, let us raise money. Maybe we should just raise money. Money for what and for who? When those that will actually access that money will take any money. True. A lot of you will donate money. So much of it. But you will never get any result because those who are likely going to get the money are not indeed mentally prepared. They have no idea of what they're actually meant to be asking for. So, and that is why we all need to begin to tell ourselves the truth. And at the same time, begin to give ourselves that psychological readiness too. Because sometimes I get all mixed reaction on this platform. And I respect all of them. In fact, I acknowledge all of them, even in whatever I also believe in. And that is, there's still a chunk of us here that believes that Nigeria still stands a chance. And I don't know what gave you that impression. And somehow, my own patience is already sort of wearing out too. Because, my own belief is that not until a lot of us actually meet that reality, that point of reality where you're going to say, man, I actually thought Nigeria would still work out. I actually thought if you know what I mean. I used to believe that until you meet that, we should just let you enjoy the experience. But fine, Nigeria can still be helped, or Nigeria cannot still be helped. Fine. But what kind of help do you think Nigeria needs? As you are watching me now from your own different base abroad right now, if I ask you to bring a pen and paper, okay, and just write whatever comes to your mind, what help do you think Nigeria needs now? Even if you kind of stylishly agreed that Nigeria should break up. I remember Sham. Sham would tell us that Mayegun, I supported the breakup and all of that you are saying, right? But I am saying that we need to get rid of these guys first. And then we can have a chance of sitting together and discussing how we're going to break all of these things up and all of that. Something like that, So they believe that maybe it's going to work or not. Okay. But we have another, another chance at giving ourselves the mental preparedness of what are you going to be demanding for, even if you have to invest your time, invest your energy, invest your money in anything that is going to actually bring a difference in how things are currently going in Nigeria. Like that mental preparedness. There are many sort of, there are many people who have different ideas of what they think should happen. But there is something you have to remember, which is something I say all the time. Okay? It is not how emotional you are about it. It is the facts behind this. A lot of us used to be pro-Nigeria. And that is why I don't get upset with people that says Nigeria will still work or Nigeria may still work. That's okay. I don't get upset with them because many of us used to be like that. There's always going to be a moment of truth that you have to take your time and just sit back. Don't use your imagination this time around. Just think about happenings. Just think about happenings and then think about those behind all that are happening. And then tell me, where is that your idea of Nigeria will still work coming from? How do you mean it's still going to work when, one, you can't elect them, you can't sue them and get anything, and you cannot protest against them without getting ready for the brutal violence they will unleash on you? So where is the idea of Nigeria will work one day? If you look at those who were before these guys, Bokwari and his gang, people said it can never be worse than that. Now look at Tinubu and his gang now. Are they not worse, already worse than the Bokwari? So who are you waiting for? Shitiman and his own people? Or Akpabioli, and who are you waiting for? So this is where people like me, which, like I said, you have to, at the point you're going to sit down. A situation whereby right now, when you talk about insecurity, you have no idea who is responsible, who should be held responsible for the insecurity. The president or the minister? What about the economy? What about the devalued currency? What about the unemployment? We should be held responsible. And on and on and on like that. Who are you going to hold responsible? None. Because everybody just dropped their own in that bucket, and then you begin to wonder that nobody's ready to actually be held responsible. Well, it was yesterday. It's a breaking news. And the breaking news was that FCT of Wirewike, that they have removed him from the TSA, Treasury single account. Under Bokwari, when they came in, Goodluck Egbere Jolantan was doing something called the TSA, Treasury single account, so that one ministry having about 400 bank accounts, 300 bank accounts and all of that, siphoning money and all that. So they decided that they must all have one single account. And at the end of the year, wherever money is left in the account should be forwarded to this single account, all of them. You understand? So, and the fact it was already in place before these criminals came. Now that is no more. They said Wirewike could spend money, he could generate money, he could spend it as he likes and all of that. He shouldn't worry himself about that. Then the monetary policy last under Bokwari, they said to save Nigerian naira, they needed to stop subsidy of dollars on some certain items like rice, sugar, this, that, and all of that, so that they will not be giving subsidy on dollars. And that will make Nigeria strong. Nigeria jumped from, Nigerian naira jumped from 150 naira official to 730 naira under Bokwari. And in 5 months, it has jumped now to over 1,000 naira under Tinubu. So yesterday they announced that they are now returning them back to the item. Like we have lifted the ban on it. So the same forex that they don't have and all that. So last time they said, oh, it was a great policy. Nigeria ran aground, dollar crashed. Now they've taken it off and they say, oh, it's a great policy again, whatever. Sure, you get what I mean? So I have one quick one I want to add just before we continue. Those who are fighting poverty.
Black Iwan Sosa. I am the chairman of Shokaye. For now, I am the chairman Shokaye CDA. And I was just at home now, and they brought this for me as palliative for the whole of Shokaye estate. In this estate, we have 147 houses with families and tenants living there. I'm confused now. I don't know how to share this for 147 households in Shokaye Estate. If you guys, the government, I'm talking to Dr. Abiodun now, If you people know you cannot do something, don't do it. We are not hungry, we are not beggars. So we don't need your rice as palliative. This is not even one bag. This is not up to an eighth of a bag of rice. Tí ò bá ṣe é ṣe, ẹ má force ara yín láti ṣe, à ń ṣe lébi mí báyìí. So èmi aláìkí ń gbé ráìsì padà kọ́ bá mi gbé lọ fún Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún kó gbé padà sí ọ̀gá ẹ̀ Tinubu tó rán kó gbé fún àwọn ọmọ wọn. À ń ṣe lébi Ọlọ́run ò dẹ̀ ní ṣe wálé lébi. So that is it. We don't need this rice. If you want to give us palliative, don't insult us. This is an insult. Shokeye Estate refused to be insulted. God bless you.
God bless you, sir. So people who treat people like that, okay, cannot tell you they have this great plan of taking you out if you don't push back. You must have that, and the people that can really push back are those of you who still have something to lose. You are about to lose that your comfort, and you may never get it back. So those of you whose life has been sort of altered, especially students, look at you. Oh, you know, I can only imagine what it is like to be a student in Nigeria of today, especially if you are also a parent. I can only imagine it. I used to pay, you know, this was a long time ago. Well, it's not that long time ago anyway. But I remember I used to pay somewhere around 45,000, 50,000 naira on Kofo Bolawan Amori as their school fees then, you know, like, and they said they were in private schools. Then it changed, then it changed, then it changed to what it is today. Every time they now tell me we need to pay the school fees, I'm like, oh dear. Then I would just remember, I'd be like, oh more. If I was still in Nigeria, what kind of job, what kind of work would I be doing to be able to afford, to be able to afford the education for my children? So when I look at a lot of you, I don't know, but it never used to be like this. And you can now tell yourself this is beyond whether APC or PDP now, right? Or you're not telling yourself yet. You're still abusing me. No, you will never stop abusing me. I'm used to that. Okay. But after abusing me, after calling me names, the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I was reading my comment on Facebook, and one of them said, now go kill your mama. You this my yegun. I was like, wait. If I am telling you how they are economically impoverishing you, and then you say, make Ogun kill my mama for saying it. After Ogun kill my mama, should that one go make the economy improve? Have you ever thought about that? Another one came and said, shut up your mouth, go and look for a job. And I was like, okay, if I found a job, or let's say I have a job, okay, and would that then stop and reduce the terrorism that these guys are unleashing on you to the point that you don't have to say anything about it? But the bottom line is, if you are not, if you are lying to people, fine. Well, you can't lie to yourself. Whatever happens to me, whatever I do with my life and the rest of that, they still would never wipe off the truth of the millions of lives that these guys are ruining and destroying, including generations unborn. That won't write it off, would it? Ogun kill your papa, Ogun kill your mama. Now this, can you say that to your papa? Can you respect your mama? And all those things, like all those talks, when you say them, after all of that, how is the reality how is the reality treating you? How? I was reading somewhere, and it was you know, sort of a group chat, and you had these Nigerians there, and they were APC, okay, and then they were lamenting about not being recognized by their leaders. We do everything. We are always everywhere. We are the one who are telling people that Tinubu will do fine. Tinubu will shake in the but we know you're not giving us anything. Some of these people they are giving appointment to, they are just the children of politicians, children of Kiniko. What about us? We no go shop. They were complaining to themselves, and other people were like, "But don't mind them, don't mind them. They will expect us to be defending them everywhere. They will expect us to be fighting and doing all of that." There are people who are talking about Tinubu, all of that. I was there under a different name. They no say I did there. And some of them were sending voice notes. Some of them were typing. And they're like, and I was like, God damn it, man. They don't value you. You know that. But because you put Tinubu as your profile picture, you cannot be seen to come outside and complain about the hard life that you are living. You don't want people to share Abby. So after the social media rant and all of that, then you bring out your phone and you start asking people to support you. You need to pay your school fees. You need to take care of your daughters. You need to take care of your children, all that stuff. And then you now realize that nobody really care about you. Now, because say you have done too much on social media and you cannot be seen to come out and cry. There are those who have tried to. The other day, one person was telling me about the problems faced by the poultry farmers in Nigeria. Lives, savings, investment are being destroyed as you are watching this video this evening. Poultry farmers with their eggs. Baba. So this guy was now lamenting that that people are so poor that they can't, they can't really afford eggs anymore. And they have so much supply that they need to, but at the end of the day, ended up having to destroy some of them for egg, what do you call that in egg gluten, a big long way. And there is no help coming from the government whatsoever. No plan, no nothing. You are on your own. Businesses are dying. People are dying quietly. This whole thing is like evil wind blowing across the place. So you as a student whose education is going to be ruined. Okay? So at a point you have to tell yourself, what is your purpose in life? What will be your purpose in life? And is any of these happenings, any of them pointer to you that is going to lead you to your purpose? Any? Now you may not be seeing this yet, okay? Maybe somebody is still paying your bill. I don't think there are so many people who are so lucky to have their bills paid by somebody else. Not so many people are lucky. So at a point, you have to tell yourself the truth. Okay? Whether you are for them or you are not for anybody. There's something that indeed puts you in a position of either what you have done or what you have failed to do. So if you want something better, you must first of all reject something bad. And this is bad, isn't it? This is very bad. Very, very bad. And I can tell you this 1 million times on repeat. Very, very, very bad. But if you are still struggling right now, that means you have something that you may lose soon. That is enough for you to get yourself mentally ready that, you know what? It is either them or us at some point. They are no more than us. No, they are not. They forced Nigeria together for their own selfish benefit. Now, until the two-third of the current people that is of the people that are currently trapped in the current Nigeria realizes that until that choice is made by them and not for them, nothing is going to change. And we must get ready to know that for something to change, we must reject what is wrong. And it is not by just, screaming and shouting about it. It must be a well-coordinated sort of, I am kind of being careful of the word to use so that it doesn't mean like, it doesn't look like I'm indoctrinating you little by little, because if I go that route, I may just start radicalizing everybody so early. But you get what I mean? You should be in a state of mind that you are around people that think like you. And you begin to avoid people that don't think like you. Do you understand what I mean? Whether you are in Nigeria now or not, you must develop the idea that those who think like you or those who know what you know are very few. A majority would like you to explain it. And no matter how much you do, they will never get it. Now, let me tell you how this kind of thing works. We can get whatever we want, whenever we want. But we must know what we want before we know how to get what we want. Some of us know what we want and we know how to. But you need to begin to develop that preparedness that will make it easier for you to identify people like yourself. And I'm saying people who actually want something out. Now, you see this medium that we are now is so powerful that it can do the job for us just like this. You get that? Yeah, avoid people that want you to see that Nigeria will still work. Avoid them. They are energy sapping people that will sap you off your energy. They will suck it out of you until you have none left, possibly. And that is for those of you who are asking, what is the solution? What is the solution? It is so close. It is very close. My own single worry is that when it finally happens, there may never be a real control, which will make it pretty much like very messy. If my language or if my English language is not so clear enough to you, I will explain it in a simple term. You see where this Nigeria is going right now is headed for somewhere. And whether it's going to be a year from now, or 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, there is something that it is so certain and so close if Nigeria continues in this trajectory, it is going to end very bad. And end very bad means there will not be any real clear sort of pathways, so to say. And that means it will be like, like Libya that you have in Libya, where armed groups are indeed those who run the majority part of the country. So to avoid all of that, that is why when you have mediums, where people will understand what they want and how they want it. So which means if you know how, it means you are ready to go for it, not sending somebody else. You cannot run a country like this. It is so impossible for a country that is over 200 million people and continue to run them like a banana republic like this, where everything and anything goes. Of course, it's going to be like a matter of time. That matter of time is why I said it could be a year from now, it could be 2, it could be 10, it can actually be 20. I won't be able to say. But to those who know better, they said it is not actually so far anymore. But to somebody like me, I would like to have an educated, well-enlightened citizens to actually know what they are indeed fighting for. These guys are going to get ready because Nigeria is so divided, of course. And that's why I said, for those who know the truth, they are not limited to any part of Nigeria. They are everywhere in Nigeria. And they are very much right there in Nigeria. And that is why I said, if you believe that before they take that last thing you value from you, because they will. They will eventually. Before they take that valuable thing from you and every other thing that you've actually lost in the course of this criminals misruling and ruining Nigeria, that is the motivation you need. You don't need to ask anybody for what should we do? What is the solution? There is no other solution for you to, at least, after admitting that everything is wrong and these criminals, they are not going to go away until they are chased away. But they would have to do something that will sort of, trigger what will chase them away. Or if the citizens don't have the knowledge, the education that they need, criminals will still hijack that from you. And it's still going to be like from frying pan to fire. So I'm of that belief that if a lot of us actually knows why, for me, maybe I should give you my own example. My own example of why I will pick up and join others to fight in any battle in Nigeria is the fact that right before my very eyes, I have seen the total dissipation, destruction of what once looked like a promising, glorious region, the southwest Nigeria. And I'm not talking about just the infrastructural destruction. I'm talking about the mental destruction of our people. We have seen the generation of systematically programmed or conditioned poor people. And they've made our people to accept it as if it is what it is. And they should be grateful for what it is. So I've seen criminals, a set of criminals who have presented themselves as the leaders of this dispensation. And they have contributed to the generational ruins, over 2 decades of generational ruins that have presented, poverty and fear to our people, especially young people. Nothing like futuristic or promising per se, even though people continue to kind of strive to be the best they can, the opportunities are just not going to be there. And this is something that's cut across the entire Western region, the Yoruba land, right before my very eyes for the first time. I reported the invasion of my region by the Fulani terrorists that not even a single one of those who parade themselves as leaders from that part of Nigeria had the bone or the liver, the backbone to even speak out and condemn it in Yoruba land. I witnessed the Nigerian military beating up the locals, elderly men and women, for rejecting Fulani terrorists from invading their villages and destroying their farms. They came back and they beat them up. I saw that, and nobody raised any whim. I witnessed a time when somebody finally rose up and said, listen, this is Yoruba land. You can never try this here. It's never going to happen. And the system went after him. And I watched the supposed outspoken Yoruba leaders, elders, Obas, and the rest of them romancing Bukwari. And they encouraged him to kill Sunday Igboho. Kill him. I witnessed all of that. So I don't know what I'm still going to witness if I live long enough. The backwardness of the Yoruba race, the destruction of our education system, the destruction of our own infrastructure, not even improving them. This is not done by our Hausas or Igbos. These were done by Yorubas. The Yorubas that sold Yorubas to their own fellow criminals at the dining table, the Nigerian dining table or dinner table. So I'm not one of those who actually blame others for what we have also had as our own share from this demonstration of grace in Nigeria. I mean, I don't blame others because nothing happened. Nothing that has happened to the Yorubas of the Western region of Nigeria today happened without the consent of those who are supposed to protect us and save us. And rather they want to keep us divided. They want us to be so afraid of other people, other tribes. Why those who have actually sworn to slit our throat, and they are doing it. The Fulanis are walking about and all of. I witnessed all of that. So if I have a reason to go back and fight, that would be one of the best and greatest and the main reason to. Because in 10, 15, 20 years, we all may not be able to even recognize where we come from originally anymore. That is the trajectory of where APC Egbekebe is taking us. You don't get it? Okay, I'll tell you one other story. You see, as it is right now, it's more or less like there is no law. Okay? You have those who have what you can call the immunity, something like that. The immunity from prosecution. People called me the other day and they said, have you heard? I said, what? They said, some guys came out from my own hometown, Odogbolu, and they claim to be the owner of, their family is the owner of the land in the entire town. I was like, how? And they said the guy, I was talking to people back then. They said these guys, it's like they have this document they are brandishing, and they have powerful people behind them. And they said everybody from Odogbolu, including my own ancestors who are long gone, that everyone that is from Odogbolu will have to go back to Odogbolu and buy and rebuy their land. This is not governmental. They will say governments want to take your land. Some individuals, they came together and they just announced to the whole town, the entire town, my entire land. And they told them that everybody will need to come on. And then I said, how is that even possible? They said, it's a big problem now. I said, how is that even a problem? Like somebody that all of you should just capture and take to, to a psychiatric home and then get them checked. How would somebody wake up and say, my father owns this whole place? Not small land, or not the whole town. The town that has been in existence for centuries. How? How do you do that? And they said that they have very, very powerful people, connected people. I said, powerful, connected people. Does that even make any sense? I said, that's Nigeria for you now. That everybody is now trying to see what they will do. I said, what do you mean you are trying to see what you're going to do? And they said, well, that's what they do in Nigeria now. If you have guns and you have some money, okay, you can begin to just do anything you want. Report them to the police, report them to the whatever. The next day they are back, and then you are back at it again. And they can kill you and say, okay, yeah, they have arrested them. They will come back again. And I'm like, how do people live like that? You know? So in a lawless place like that, one of these days, it will become so lawless that apart from the fact that you don't want to raise your family there, okay, you also will probably feel like somebody needs to put an end to all of this. And that's just one. Somebody's telling me now that it's the same thing in Otta. It's the same thing, you know. How could somebody just walk into a town and say, my family owns the entire town? These are not towns created. I mean, these are not news sites where they created them like 2000 or 2001. We're talking about a place that has been in existence for over 400 years. And from that town, we have some monuments there that can point to you and say for how long they've been in existence. Like, what the hell? Before them born your papa or your grandpa or your great-great-grandpa, how could you be boldly? Then I was asking them about Odogbolu. We used to have a lot of Ogun now. That the boy no fear for in life. Ni. They say, they say in Papa is one big jazz guy too. I said, oh God. So what's going to happen now? They said they are just waiting for their decision. Who is waiting? The whole town. They are waiting for them to see how they are going to settle it, if they are going to buy their land again. Or else everybody will have to leave Odogbolu. So I don't go get a maternal hometown here. Because if you don't get land, you don't get Abi. They've sold all my family land in Odogbolu. I know even they asked them. The one I bought for myself, they don't take them. They tell me they don't take them. Imagine me buying land, burying my mom on the land. And the same people in Odogbolu came and they said, listen, we are taking the land because you didn't buy it from the right people. And the right person who collected money was also standing there, was like, it's okay. I'll go and give you land somewhere else. They said, that's what they do now. They are all working together. They know you are abroad. I said, what will happen to my mom that are buried on the land? And they said, don't worry about that one. We are just going to fence your mommy out of it like this. I'm going to sell the rest. I was like, you will sell my land? I said, yeah, I will sell it. So that's it. They say, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. I said, okay. That is a country. So a lot of you who are abroad, okay, you are all going to experience things like this that are going to remind you how lawless Nigeria is. Sometimes they will tell you, and so that they do now, you should go and build something on it. But normal to you, you just be like, what the hell is this? How could that be normal? That is the country that these criminals are living for everyone today. You get what I mean? So there's going to be a time when you're going to think of what would motivate you to push for your own, either for your own nation or for your own region or for your own autonomy, whatever you're going to push for. Something needs to motivate you. Nobody is going to come and teach you how to do that. I know. They're just trying me. So, that's not how I wanted to share the story with all of you. The story of my land. I bought extra land there, I was planning to build. Listen to this. Somebody said that one of the losses to Nigeria is the fact that you have rogues who are in charge of Nigeria, who have eyes, but they cannot see. They go all over the world to borrow money with high interest. But their real investor, their real money bag are supposed to be Nigerians abroad. But because they have no plan of developing that country, it is all about grab and grab and grab, and then to the next person. While lives and families are ruined, businesses are destroyed. Here you get. So let me tell you this. That's not how I wanted to share that story of my own experience. So when I tell you that I mean Nigeria no happen to you, this is what I mean. Okay? Nigeria happen to a lot of us every day. Okay? But in a different ways. Maybe 5 years ago, I told you about my land. They wanted to take from me in Odogbolu after I buried my mother there. Anyway, that was just about 2 plots of land, okay? And early this year, back then, because they said they wanted to take the land, so me, with my own stubborn, what have you, I was like, no, you will not take my land. No, don't try it. So those babas, they felt offended. How dare you go and mention us on your platform? You know what I mean? So this year, I said I was going to build a guest house. Do you understand? I'm going to build a guest house there, and I'm going to build a penthouse on it. So if whenever I'm in Nigeria, I will just sleep in my own penthouse in my hometown. So, and then we're going to build what do you call it, garage, car park underneath it. So we need a space enough that, you know what I mean? We can do all of that, and I can get people on there, run things. Because I didn't have any plan of living in Nigeria anymore anyway, right? But if I have a chance of coming around, I would love to sleep where my mother was buried. That would be kind of, But that was my dream. So I paid them money. Extra, sort of over $1 million as well, for an extra piece of land. Almost 3 months, but then I was like, are you sure these guys are not going to? I said, no, everything is fine. No, they don't. So I gave them money to get me extra on the side so that it can be enough for me to build a guest house, like a very fancy place like that. Just like that. Almost 3 months after that, they said they watched, and they are all family. They are the same people. And they said, we have taken that land. I was like, what do you mean you've taken my land? He said, no, we have taken the land. I said, no, you can't. I said, well, I should go and do my worst. They told me to go and do my worst. I'm like, how can you just say that? You signed this paper. Look at all you signed. You signed this. I said, no, that's your own thing. No. You see that one that you buried your mother? We have also taken down. It's just that we have not found buyer. If we have found buyer for that one, we'll go down sell them. I was like, what happened to my mom? My mom is buried on it. They say, what happened to your mom? They will do a fence, and they will fence the bury. I was like, come on, you color gone. So while they were saying that, okay, I was like, you know what? She been at land. The only thing is that they have taken it from me verbally. But when I got the land from them, I gave them money, and they gave me documents, papers, right? So to me, they haven't taken my land. But to them, they play the land where we don't take. Sure you get now. But who do I go to that these people have not been to? Go to police? There are people who are already dragging them to the police in Nigeria. Take them to court, or they are already customers of courts in Nigeria. Then where do you take them to again? That is the reality of Nigeria. Then they begin to threaten you, your life, your children, your family, your everybody. Until you are kind of going to be like, okay, take it. It's okay. I've been duped. They've duped me. And I remember 5 years ago when I spoke about that of my mom's, where I buried my mom. There were some of these APC, Egbekebes, and some of these Dumbo sockets, right? They would jump on there and they'll be like, now your land, they still collect. They go see collect your thank God say I get land where they go collect. Some of you they don't mortgage your lives. Okay. That even if you die now, okay, they go actually maybe just arrange a mass burial where they will just dump it with other people. And that is not normal. It's not right. That is what APC, Egbekegbe, wishes on you. And I told them then, I said, well, to me, anything we get a monetary tag on it doesn't really kind of move me anymore. If I didn't have my mom buried on the land, I wouldn't even flex anything. Like, no. I'm like, what kind of audacity would make people say, I am taking this your land and there's nothing you can do? There's nowhere else in the world that can happen. Never. So imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years' time when the criminals have completely criminalized the entire thing. And there you are. You'll just be the only mad person. No. I just thought I should use my story as an example, okay? I have told you, nobody has taken my land. In their own book, they've taken over my land. Sure you get. But in my own eyes, nobody has taken my land. You get what I mean, right? So it simply means that anybody will go onto my land, they trespass. Because I paid them. And I said, if you give me my money back, I don't need interest. Just pay me my money back. Okay. It's a peanut, it's a chicken change. They can pay me 1.2, 2.4 million. 2.4 million. Give me that my money back. And leave my mama where I first buried her. Okay. Nobody should touch that. They say people know they buy land where they bury person abi. So I said nobody should touch that. That should be war. But if you don't give me my money back for that land, you may think you've taken it, no wahala. If you sell my land, that means you are trespassing. But it's land anyway. But the point is this, okay? When I'm going to need to start wahala over that, I know what to do. Okay? I'm just saying that, take a look at that scene. I am here, living abroad. So if I make small money, I bought land. If I make another small money, I put a structure on it. People get employed. If I make small money, I put more into it and I employ other people, rendering services. Maybe 5-10 people who have an immediate job in that locality. They will be contributing to the economy of that locality. You, with the Manchester, you decided to come and build this other industry there. And that one come and build this one. That one came here, come and build this one. All of that money is going into that community. And if all of us were there abroad in our millions, if Nigeria is all right, we are the main investor. We are the foreign investor that should be. But when you look at the way they are running the place, a lot of us are beginning to have a second thought about where to put our money. Nobody want to put, see me now, they collected almost 2 million from me. Now they're telling me there's nothing, I don't get anything there. Like, how is that done? So if I now resort to the self-help, okay? So that means before I can really do something, I have to resort to self-help. Before they will now say, you know what? Leave that one alone. Do you understand that now? Leave that one alone. Leave his land for him. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Let's go and threaten the next one. You know what I mean? I have to resort to self-help now. Something that I would never have to do if there is actually a system, a real system. They are destroying people's lives over there as we speak. And majority of us who have our own different investments in Nigeria have told our stories too. People have told me their stories here. You know? You see, listen to that one now. One true emperor just said, he's blaming me. You, Mayegu. You, our own Baba Gio. That is telling us how much Nigeria is happening to us. For those who are not smart enough, you, Mayegu, can't go invest your money. Baba, see me see trouble. It's, sometimes I should be listening to my own advice, Abi. I was careful. I was. You know what I mean? I mean, there are many of you who have invested tens of millions of naira. I know so many of you who are like, you're everything like before now. On a day UK, they drive one small jalopy. But for Nigeria, you'll be multimillionaires. Now that multimillionaire, they can't depreciate for your hand right now. Now you are not so willing to go and take your money there. So me, I don't get money to put anywhere per se. You know what I mean? The moment I buried my mother on that land, I felt like I had to do something there in her memory. Seriously, you know, the mind of not wanting to put my stuff there was actually what dragged it this long. Sure, you know. So maybe I haven't been off the line too much, Abby. Because every now and then you feel like, what is that motivation to want to give back into that place? Is it the people that are going to take advantage of you? The people that you cannot really trust, the people you want to give things to? Because you believe that as they are doing it, you are also helping them as they are helping you, and they are actually so happy to run you down. And there's nobody to report to. There's no one to actually say, okay, you know what? If you do that, that's what will happen to you. Nowhere in Nigeria. So you have to resort to self-help to be able to get some little respite, you know, some little sort of something back. You cannot run a country like that and expect it to succeed. So it's that way, some way, it's gonna collapse. The best brains, the best minds are leaving Nigeria in droves, and they are facing the uncertain future, which will also give further room to these criminals to further do their destruction and all that, right? So shit happened, right? Now, what I really want us to pay attention to are the things that you can say, this is why I have had enough. One day soon, you are going to have that. You are going to have enough. Tinubu and gang who are dragging the certificate forgery stuff and trying and spending so much to change the narrative because they know where that is going to end. Nigeria has no real law to try these criminals. They know that. And that's why they continue to repeat judiciary, Supreme Court, judiciary, Supreme Court, as if to say the 2023 election is about Tinubu's certificate forgery. It's not just about that. You know that? So the moment their Supreme Court says there's no forgery, then what happened to the rest of the whole thing? Everybody goes back to the status quo. Now, when you go back to the status quo, and everybody is complaining and crying and lamenting as usual, or maybe you are joining them to sing as if they paying them, if they sweet us, you think, Abi? But in reality, when you look at where the shoes are indeed hurting you, just remember what Mayegun said, that these guys don't care about you. You can fool around and fool the world, but you can't fool yourself that long if you don't change it, if you don't mentally get yourself ready to actually chase these criminals when the bell sounds, because there's going to be a bell that will sound soon. That bell is going to ask you to stand up and push back. That bell is going to remind you that the battle ahead of you is not that of tribal, religious, or ethnic. For those who are clear enough, the battle is called a class war. And until you defeat classism, nobody is coming out of this enslavement or contraption anytime soon. Nobody, none. But the ability to destroy starts from the mental preparedness. So if the course says, yeah, please don't go and make yourself an enabler. Please don't. you have done enough damages to yourselves, probably that you don't even know of. And these damages that you have done to yourselves are due to your enablement, like enabling them. Nobody is spared. None of us is spared. And the only people who have alternatives are the same criminals that want you to remain who you are or where you are, supporting the status quo. The same one that has kept you under this perpetual misery. A lot of people are facing the reality of choosing between sending their children to schools or just worrying them. When I say worrying them, the level of, the level at which people are fighting poverty or fighting back poverty in Nigeria, it's like they are throwing everything at it. Everything. And the more they throw at it, the more it demands. People are selling off their children for sex trafficking. They're selling off their children for other horrible things as well. As long as they will get a reward, no matter how little. And more people are being forced into this. You know, back in the days, they said that, slavery was really bad. Human trafficking was a crime. Today, people are offering themselves to be trafficked. Just traffic me out of Nigeria. Just take me anywhere. I will do anything. And that is how much APC has done. Now, if you are looking for a reason, don't look for anybody to come and fight for you. You just need a reason why you will fight when it is time to. I'm not going to call you out to say, okay, let's go out tomorrow. Because I personally believe that the damages they have done to Nigerians, especially the economic damage, the effect of that economic ruin and damages to people is beyond just what a lot of us can describe. A lot of people have been destroyed psychologically, weakened from inside, with the level of hardship that they have faced in their lifetime. They have no strength to fight anymore. They have no power or any courage or encouragement to fight anymore. Now, I want to give you a reason why you should fight. Now, when I say fight, it's like that same word, like break it up to save lives. Okay? They look like a very sort of a sharp cottage words. You know what I mean? Like break it up and save lives. Fight. You know, the fight that a lot of you need to fight right now is actually psychological fight. Somebody said that we need a revolution of the mind, because it is what is in the mind that will help what is going to be what's going to be out there. If your mind cannot picture it, you are likely never going to be able to achieve it. And they said, prepare them, revolutionize them and their minds, so that they will not become people of so little faith in their own goals. You need to have that strong will, strong conviction, something that cannot be changed or beaten out of you. Like when they slap you now, or when they shoot you and the rest of that, you begin to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. No, it has to be something that is mental. You must want it. Yeah? So when we say fight, they be like, you are encouraging them to fight. Of course, because the fight starts from here. There are so many things that you need to actually first of all, unlearn. There are many things that you've been fed with that you first need to purge yourself of them. So when you purge yourself of them, or when you get right and truthful information, and you cleanse yourself, you detoxify yourself from all of those nonsense they have fed us with, all our lives. That means you are beginning to, then you'll be available to actually learn something new, something liberating. It is called mental revolution. If you believe that these people can be taken down and the entire, what do you call it, structures they've built for themselves, structure of corruption that they've built for themselves, structure of oppression, of lawlessness, if you believe that it can be brought down, it has to start, I mean, it must start from here. It shouldn't happen by accident. It shouldn't happen by coercion. You should not join a fight that is psychologically required with the intention of the physicality of it. No. So it has to come from your mind. And you must be so convinced and determined. And it is when you are that you begin to understand people who reasons like that too. It is not always physical first. The fight that you must fight is that your internal fight. The ones that will tell you that you might be Igbo. Okay? You may not want Nigeria. Nobody chose Nigeria. But currently, before we can all get ourselves out of here, we would need ourselves. We would need people of like mind. We would need to take this hegemony down. Now, that conviction is a very strong one. The one that your tribal conviction cannot change. Your ethnic, what do you call it? Your ethnic association cannot change it. Your political views or association cannot change it. Your religious belief cannot change it. These are thoughts that are stronger than any belief you ever hold. So are you ready to be like that? Are you really ready to give up everything you once believed for a new belief that completely was never your area of specialization all your lives? These are not random thoughts. Okay? The thought of liberation, the thought of oh, we want to be free from, they are not just wishful thoughts. These are deep thought, because your action can change the destiny of a generation. Now, when you have strong people who believe that, number one, we never signed up to be together like this. We never did sign up for this. Save for those who are benefiting from it, the judgment of those of us who are losing from it. And we are many, majority of us. Mm-hmm. It is ideal for us to kind of remind them that at a point, which is meant to be peaceful, by the way. So at a point, a large number of enlightened and educated people from across Nigeria will demand for the total breakup of Nigeria, starting from that center, something that we know what they did. We know why they fused us together. We know Nigeria have no states. Nigeria have no regions. Nigeria have no religion. Nigeria have none of all of these things. This whole scheme is a central scheme put together since 1966. A big, huge scheme that made all of this component part of the federal government of Nigeria just a subsidiary of a larger company called the federal government of Nigeria. It is not to the benefit of anybody. But one of these days it's going to happen. A generation that will be bold enough to call out on one another. Say, you know what? If they call out, would you even answer? Do you even have enough of what it takes to be part of those who are likely going to change the course of history? Because I kind of believe myself, or I'm beginning to believe that even though we might have been so divided, rightly or wrongly so, we might have been so brainwashed and impoverished that we are too poor to fight. But there is going to be something that is going to motivate all of us soon. When everybody realizes that we are all victims and it doesn't matter where you come from, right? The moment everyone realizes that, or a larger number of people realizes that, it will be easier to call for that, a big history-changing action. But for now, it may be so much like a myth or a wishful thinking. But like I said before, sometimes people don't believe it until it happens. And it is already happening. It is just the coordination that is not yet coordinating. These guys will push us to that stage. I want us to all have it in our minds that Nigeria will break up. These guys will do everything not to make that happen. But whatever it is they have been doing for years to force it together for this long, they are losing their grip. They are fighting their last fight. It is so much obvious today that a generation and the other generations that are really, really, really going to be fiercely combatants with them are almost here, or they are already here. But we want it to be a right and just fight. If you want Yoruba nation, an independent, prosperous Yoruba nation, you must be mentally prepared for it. There are two ways of how these new nations will emerge from the pieces of this old wreck. I remember saying this to a lot of us back then too, that even though a lot of us want Nigeria to break up in peace, we don't have to be enemies to ourselves. We will still what? We will still thrive and then prosper based on our own capacities. And for those who can't imagine a broken up Nigeria, well, I have said this before. 10 years ago, the conversation around the breaking up of Nigeria and the reasons why were not this more pronounced as they are today, like they were 10 years ago. The failure of these criminals in government would continue to give boosts to the advocates for the breakup of Nigeria. Do you now see why it is not in your hands? It is not in my hands. If Nigeria is going to break up peacefully, if Nigeria is going to break up violently, or if Nigeria is not going to break up at all. It is not in my hands. It is not in your hands. It is in the hands of those who have pushed us to this point. They have divided us along a tribal and ethnic line. They have divided us along religious and tribal lines. They've done so much destruction. But since we are like that, they've also blessed us with one thing, which is from their bad government: poverty. By blessing Nigeria or cursing Nigerians with poverty, they've created an avenue for crime, industrialization, criminalization of everything in Nigeria. More and more people are seeing a failed country. And if this failure is indeed out of hand soon, you cannot say Nigeria will not lead to civil war. If Nigeria leads to another civil war, Nigeria will break up violently. I remember saying it to all of us who care to listen then. Nigeria will break up two ways. The first one is the peaceful, the one that I and my own people are promoting and advocating for. And that is the one that starts with a national conversation, conference, whatever you want to call it. A place where people will be given the chance to send their representatives with their demands, what they want. A conference where everybody will come and discuss if they really want to be together as a country and why, and under what conditions. These are the only way you can set the rules, and everybody will know what they are bringing to the table and what they are taking away from that table. And I mean, Nigerians deciding for Nigeria. Abi? Now, if outcome of that says Nigeria should remain, but as a confederation, independent regions where everybody runs their own affairs, and nobody kind of have any right to command anybody from any part of Nigeria if they are not under your jurisdiction. You know what I mean? A sense of belonging, something that gives everybody the right and the role in what you can call nation building or regional building. Abi? Or just let everybody demand for a new, brand new constitution that indeed would, what fuck constitution? Let that conference demand for a referendum for these people to show if they want to be part of that Nigeria where it's a confederation, or they just want to go their way completely. Now, if you don't have that conversation, if people say it's never going to happen, you either take it or you leave it. Okay? Now, the point is that people will not take it and people will not leave it. You may have your way for now. You may control the violence for now. But with their failure, the violence is going to be general. And that's the one I don't like. That is the one I don't want. And that is the one a lot of people said will settle this whole thing. But before it gets to that stage, ladies and gentlemen, you should know why and where. Why you have to stand up and where you have to stand and what you have to do. It all starts from here. You see this Nigeria that is Polukumushu like this, is going to continue like that for a long time. Okay? They are going to do everything to make you feel like you are powerless and you cannot do anything. But I promise you one thing. Wherever Bokwari saw, or should I say, whatever effort in trying to challenge Bokwari at the time, that they used their violence to crush and continue to hunt people, you can expect even worse on that Tinubu. And like I said, though, if you are mentally ready and prepared, you will know when the time is right. And when the demand is going to be made, you're not going to be demanding for break it up and save lives. Break it up now and save lives. That will become the prominent convo. And you should be one of those that will champion that. But you must be at the right state of mind, in the right state of mind, rather. You must know why you want that. Do you want me to give you a few reasons why you want that? Or you should want that. Independent regions. That was what we signed up for in 1957, 1959, and then 1960. Independent regions. The criminals who control Nigeria today they didn't force Nigeria together because they wanted to develop Nigeria. They forced Nigeria together because it is easier to share the proceeds of Nigeria if they are all fused together. You have no plan for anyone. Not for you, not for me, not for your children. And if you are still not telling yourselves that truth yet, okay, I hope you live long enough to realize it early enough that you can make a correction, okay? Now, before they forced everyone together, all the regions could do and plan their own development. They could fund them. They could dream their dreams, okay? The ones they have for their people. Eastern region, Western region, and Northern region. Everyone has their own goals set for them by themselves. But today, nobody has a clue of what is the goal of Nigeria. Nobody has a clue. What is the Nigerian dream? Nobody has a clue. Who is a Nigerian? You have 1 million definitions. There are so many things that are completely out of place. Nobody can explain to you because nobody has a clue. And that is why the only reasonable and sensible thing for everyone is to go back to what actually set us up. Set us on this path of a collusion of being together. And if anybody tells you that asking for the breakup of Nigeria is treasonable, tell them You see, if you are looking for one big reason to actually go after these criminals, if you have been looking for one and you don't have any, or all of those ones I've given to you, they are not really convincing or appealing to you, the one reason why you have to go after them is because they are those who have committed the grievous, the greatest treasonable felony against Nigeria and against Nigerians. And they have been the only one who has never been held responsible. Do you want me to give you more examples of that? Of their treasonable felonies? These criminals, they'll go all over, they went all over the world, mortgaging Nigerian future, giving Nigerians the worst of the worst deals, devaluing your naira for whatever immediate pecuniary gains they will get, plunging the future of generations into indebtedness. Not because they have an intention of using that same resources to build their future that will then pay for those debts. It was all to be looted. Who would use the future of their own citizens for loans that they don't have intention of paying back, or in fact using for the development of the country? What is more treasonable than that? That a country that is not at war is losing their own military to ragtag terrorists, Islamic jihadists. Your citizens are being displayed and whipped and beaten and killed on national television, online, by terrorists, and nothing has been done. Then that same people had the audacity to call out the celebration of graduation day for repentant terrorists. They are mocking you. They are pardoning terrorists. They are doing graduations for them. They are giving money to terrorists. They are laying red carpet for terrorists into government houses. Terrorists are getting special invitation and special interview on the main media in Nigeria. Isn't that reasonable? That somebody is pardoning some people who slaughtered and killed Nigerians? And they pat themselves on the back, telling themselves that they are doing a great job? Is that not reasonable? No? Some criminals use Nigerian foreign reserve as a collateral and they didn't tell the country. They devalued the country's currency. And stole over $30 billion from the foreign reserve. Nobody has a clue who took the money. Nobody has a clue what they used the money for. The creditors are now asking, and they said they are going to kind of bankrupt Nigeria, who is already bankrupted. They bankrupted Nigeria. And they are still flying about in their private jets, living in their different mansions with your money. And they are accusing you of treason. 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 For asking for the breakup of the shito that these guys are milking. And you think you are the one who is treasonable? These criminals colluded with criminals like themselves and denied a country that is the ninth largest oil producer in the world. Jesus Christ. They colluded that a country of 200 million people, largest oil and gas producer in the whole world, but has no capacity of fixing a single refinery in 63 years of its independence. That is called sabotage. They sabotage Nigeria. The Nigeria could not generate and distribute electricity in 63 years. And the same people will turn around and call you treasonable? Do you know it is a crime for Nigerians to actually be poor? Who is supposed to be held responsible for that? The criminals in government. So if you are asking that, let us just go our separate ways and deal with our problems, and you know what I mean? And then they say what you are doing is treasonable. You want to break up Nigeria, it's treasonable. Do you get the reverse psychology there? It's called reverse psychology. They have broken the country into pieces. They have shared the territories to themselves, the resources and our people. But we are the ones who are treasonable. Eh? I just thought you should think about that. So yeah, the bottom line is this. Nigeria is going to get to that crossroad. And every one of us should remember this. We are all forged. Forged in the sense that we are done for until we have a reason to fight and push back. Pushing back starts from you on learning all the lies and the brainwashing and the conditioning that you have learned. Because it's all going to start from your mind. So that when that cause comes, you are not going to continue to give them excuses or reasons why you can't fight. Nobody is coming to help anybody. Nobody. Anyway, I am going to call it a night, but I have a quick request to make. The Yoruba Union, which you all know very well, and thanks so much for all your support on that. The Yoruba Union is hoping that we are going to kick off our back to school project again in January 2024. Now we want to start planning from now. Like I said, things have gone from bad to worse. And a lot of people have reasons to be like, I don't want to put my money in Nigeria anymore. I don't want to put my money here or there. Just like I said that so many of you are on this program tonight because you have been a regular on Mayegun's Diary Political and you want something to happen. Indeed, a lot of you have all it takes to take all my message in, process them, and at the same time, act on them. But you see that back in that Nigeria, back in that Yoruba land, the force that is keeping our people under the bondage of ignorance, to the point that they have now weaponized them against any reasonable ideal thoughts. Are you with me? That too requires a physical approach, not just this one. We have done so well to some extent based on our own resources. We've reached out to children. We've adopted many of them. Indeed, we are grateful to those who have been very, very, very supportive. And I'm not going to blame any of you who have vowed never to have any of your penny to support anybody in Nigeria, but you can support the union. The last time I brought, you remember that young man who's to the double amputee, Mr. Lukman? You remember him, Abi? Of course, you should remember him. His own brother also came here, and you heard his story too. Of course, a lot has happened since then till now, but there is something I need to remind all of us, and that is, these people are always going to remain the point of contact of why a lot of our people need to change their ways. And like I said, I understand those of you who say, no, I don't want to, but Mayegun, no, I understand. But for those of you who still very much support what Mayegun does, the last time we promised to buy that young man a new bike that can fetch them their own money, like, you know what I mean, like get them some things to get by instead of us having to go back and keep giving them money. We have already adopted two of his children. I'm going to bring you the clip of their transformation from their dad, the video you saw then. These kids they've never been to school. They had no idea of reading or writing. They can't just do anything that has to do with education, like Western education. But with our own Mrs. Busari, Olufolake. So Mrs. Folake Busari, who actually owned a school in Ogun State, she adopted the children, two of them, a girl, and a boy. You need to see them now. You really, really need to see them. I'm going to bring the update to you. So I'm going to plead with all of you who have that capacity. We are going to need at least 800,000 naira to get Mr. Lukman's brother a bike. The union would have paid for it. But the last time they gave me an account of the union, it simply means that we need to empty our entire treasury to buy a bike. We can afford it, but we are not going to spend our money. We are going to crowdfund it. And that is going to start from all of us. It's up to us. And then if you are in any way interested in helping, trust me, you can use our Give Send Go account, use the PayPal account. And when I have enough to buy him a bike, I will come and present that to all of you here when it is done. $800,000 naira should be probably 700 pounds sterling, isn't it? Well, we promised to do it, to get him one. I want us to get it now. I will remind you again tomorrow, and I will remind you again this week. Apart from that, just as the union does, we are intending to go on and go back for our back to school projects in January, which simply means I'm still always going to ask for your help. The last time we did this, in case if you are just joining Mayegun's Diary Politico, it's not just about talk. So, you know, we have done enough to help those who have been the victims of the same ruining and then ruinous leaders you have in Nigeria. They are victims. Some of us believe that by reaching out and helping will give us an opportunity to actually pass our messages to them, a chunk of them. And across Yoruba land, Yoruba Union has been able to reach thousands of people that we have actually helped directly, not through anybody. We've changed lives, or should we say we've touched lives, and we have changed lives due to crowdfunding and support system we have on this program. Yorubas, Hausas, Northerners, Easterners, Westerners, and everyone from everywhere, including non-Nigerians, have supported the idea of a Yoruba Union reaching out. It's so little, but it is effective. We just need to be consistent with it. I'll leave it at that, okay? So thank you. And to those of you who are also reaching out to a lot of people in Nigeria, it is not really encouraging. I know that. I am there. I know what it is like. And that's why I said, you see, if you want to do this, you must be prepared to see it as a thankless job. You should not see it as something that somebody is going to be probably ringing a bell on you and say, oh, you've done. No. You will never be happy if you choose that. Just think of people that you would do something for and they would probably never have a chance of paying you back. But you can leave them with a message, a life-changing message. They can actually be instrumental to all of this that we are talking about. As you are putting a foot on the ground, at the same time, let us put, our mind at work. To work rather. Put our minds to work. So that as we are doing the physical liberation, we are doing the mental liberation too. APC is strong. Their propaganda is very strong. If you don't have that strong mind, if you don't have that enlightened, educated mind, you will fall for them. Look around you. How many educated people have you not seen speaking in defense of these criminals? That is how powerful it can be. And where there is hunger and poverty, or the fear of it, a lot of people will comply, even before poverty reaches them. But with the right message, with the right mind, we can turn the tide. We can. We just need to get to believe it and get ready for it. Ego, get ready. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you some other time. Good night.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Máyégún Diary Diary politico.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún Diary na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.